Hello, my name is Ari Waldman. I'm a person who stutters. Today is Monday, October 12th, 2020, the 24th of Tishre. Monday, the 24th of Tishre, 5781, October 12th, 2020, Igar HaKodesh, Epistle 24. In the previous letter, the Alter Rebbe explained how the Torah study of a group of at least 10 or a mitzvah performed by them collectively brings about the indwelling of the Shekhinah. He spoke of how even those who engage in avodah of prayer sometimes spend the time before and after prayers in idle chatter. Indeed, the Mishnah calls such a group a company of scoffers. Since they are not studying Torah, the Alter Rebbe therefore urged that regular times be set aside between Mincha and Mariv for the group study of Ein Yaakov and of laws of practical application in the Shulchan Aruch. In the present letter of the Alter Rebbe goes on to condemn those who during prayer services engage in mundane conversation, not only on the idle matters, but even on matters that are necessary for their livelihood. Such conversation at any other time would be, of course, be permitted. During prayer services, however, it demonstrates that the speaker has no desire to behold the godliness that is revealed specifically during that time. This insensitivity is depicted by a parable drawn from the Zohar. For years on end, a terrestrial king hides his majestic splendor behind locked doors. Those of his subjects who have the discernment to value that splendor eagerly wait there for years on end until they are granted a glimpse of it. Others are so foolish and so brazen that they show no interest. For the time of prayer is a precious time below, echoing a propitious time above. Above, as the Alter Rebbe states in chapter 12 of Tanya, it is a time of mochin the gadlut, a time of sublime illumination in the upper worlds below. Therefore, it is the time when every individual can respond to the call which the king issues to his subjects. If one is to receive the revelation which becomes possible at the time of prayer, that time needs to be utilized for meditation on the greatness of God. But if this meditation is to be fertile and give birth to the spiritual emotions of love and awe, it still needs to find its way into the worshiper's heart. This is the message of the following brief teaching of the Alter Rebbe. There is an expression of our sages, im kiven libo. If one had the proper intention, kiven libo, he has fulfilled his obligation. Now, kiven shares a root with the Aramaic kavin, meaning windows. Accordingly, in the above quoted teaching of the sages, the Alter Rebbe read the following message. A man fulfills his obligation during prayer only if he has made a window in his heart, so that the revelation that illuminates his mind during prayer will radiate its warmth into his heart. Ahove achi, my beloved ones, my brethren. Al na tareu reim ahuvim liotzram vishinuim liotzram. I beg of you, friends, who are beloved unto their Maker and hateful unto their evil inclination, do no wrong. Surely one should respect the wishes of his beloved and not of his enemy. Ve'al ya'asa Adam atzmo rasha sha'achat lifnei hamakom asher bachar ba mikol hayom. Let no one make himself wicked before God during 1 hour, i.e., the hour of prayer that he has chosen of all day. Lahakel v'la'amod lefanav b'sha'azu shehi eitz ratzon lefanav lehitgalut lavo el hamikdash mat, so that people can congregate and stand before him during that hour. For this is an auspicious time for him to be revealed and to come into the miniature sanctuary, as a synagogue is called, Livkod Lishchinat Kvoda, Hashochen Itam Betoch Tom Otam, to visit the Shechina of his glory that dwells with the Jewish people in the midst of their impurity. Even in the impurity of exile, the divine presence abides among the Jewish people, and at the auspicious hour of prayer, the Almighty himself comes, as it were, to visit the Shechina that resides constantly among his people. V'leha matzah lidroshav u'mivakshav u'miyachalav, and to be accessible to those who seek him and entreat him and yearn for him. V'hamisaper b'tzrichav me'ra'a be'atzmo she'eno chafetz lehidbonin v'lara'ot begiloi kavod malchuto. At this auspicious time of prayer, he who speaks of his needs demonstrates that he has no desire to contemplate and behold the manifestation of God's majestic glory. V'na'aseh mirkava tam'ah l'chasiel ha'elyon. Thus he becomes an impure chariot, i.e. a subservient vehicle, to the supernal fool, i.e. to the klipa. Shene amar alav lo yachpotz kesil bitvuna kule. Kamo katvo ha-zohar ba'arizal, of whom it is said, the fool does not desire understanding, as stated in the Zohar and by Rabbi Isaac Luria of blessed memory. Dahayinu she'eno chafetz lehidbonin v'la'araot bikar tiferet gedulato shel melech malchei hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. This means he has no desire to contemplate and to behold the glorious splendor of the greatness of the King of Kings, the Holy One, blessed be He. Haniglot lama'ala b'shazu, which becomes revealed at this hour above, for the hour of prayer is a propitious time above. V'gam lamata el chafatzim, lahabit el kvodo v'gadlo. Hamit atef ve'mit labish betoch tibot ha-tfila has-dura b'fi kol. It is also revealed below to those who earnestly desire to gaze upon his glory and greatness, which garbs and vests itself in the words of the liturgy, which is known to all. V'mitgale l'chol achad lefi shikulo v'shoresh nishmato, and which becomes revealed to every individual according to his intellect and according to the root of his soul. K'tichtiv lefi shikulo yeholal ish, as it is written, a man is praised yehulal according to the measure of his intellect. Yehalel k'tiv, as spelled, the word could be pronounced Yehalel. The verse would thus mean a man praises, i.e. praise according to the measure of his intellect, i.e. in proportion to his comprehension of God's greatness. Umalchuto dirakia, ki ayin melchuta de ara. Now the kingdom of heaven is similar to the kingdom of on earth. Shederech hamelach liot chevyon o ozu bechadre chadarim v'kama shomrim al hapatachim. It is customary for a king to have his might concealed in his innermost chambers, with many guards at the doors. Ad asher kama v'kama mitzafim yamim v'shanim lirot uza uchvoda, so that many people wait for days and years, hoping to behold his might and glory. V'cheshe Allah birtzono lit galot l'chol ve'havir kol b'chol malchuto lahakel b'lamod lefanav laharotam. Kvod malchuto v'ikar tiferet gedulato. Now, when he wishes to be seen by all, and proclaims throughout his kingdom that his subjects should assemble and stand before him, so that he can show them his majestic glory and the exalted splendor of his greatness. Ki she'omer lefanav ve'eno choshesh liroto v'mitasek bitzricho. Whoever will stand before him and not care to see him, busying himself at that time with his own needs. Kama garoa v'seichel v'patai hu v'nimshal kabehemot nidma be'enei kol habriot. How lowly, foolish, and senseless is he, resembles an animal in the eyes of all. V'gam hu bi bizayon hamelach Baharoto lefanav she'eno sipon be'enav lakabel nachat v'sha'a shuim me habit el kavodo v'yafav yoter me'asek tzrichav. Moreover, it is a dishonor to the king when he demonstrates before him that to have pleasure and delight by gazing upon his glory and beauty is of no more esteem in his eyes than busying himself with his own needs. V'gam hu mitchayev b'nafsho lemelach al harot kulanu u'v'zaviono et melech hamelach la'ayin kol roeh. Moreover, it is a capital offense toward the king to exhibit how he disgraces and dishonors the king in the eyes of the public. Ve'al ze ne'emar ve'chis silim Miriam kalon. Of this it is written, all fools raise the insult. Kolomar af shehu kisayel lo yiyeh Miriam klon shiyeh nira haklon la'ayin kol. This means to say that though he is a fool, he should not raise the insult, making it apparent to all. For this not only dishonors the king, but also constitutes a capital offense. Ve'al kain kavod chazal b'tfilah ki'ilu omed lifnei hamelach. For this reason, our sages of blessed memory ordained that with prayer one should conduct himself as if he is standing before the king. Now, if he is standing before the King of Kings, why do our sages say as if this means Al kol pneim yiyeh mera be'atzmo, ki'ilu omed kule, la'ayin kol ro'a, be'ene b'shar, al masav v'diburav. At least he should make himself appear as if he is standing before the king, in the sight of all who look with physical eyes at his actions and words. Av she'ayin lo machashava l'chsil, even though a fool has no thought, although he does not have even an intellectual realization that while standing in prayer, he truly is standing before the king. V'al zeh ha'inyan nitkan kol hatfilot lemitz bonin bahem heitev. It was concerning this matter, the realization that one is standing before the king at the time that he is appointed to reveal his glory to those who seek him, that all the prayers were instituted as is evident to whoever meditates deeply upon them. Umi she'eno me'ra'a kain mitchayev benafsho. But he that does not show this realization is guilty of a capital offense. V'alav amru b'zohar, hakadosh di inhig kalna b'takana iloa v'achaze pir roda v'leit lei cholka be'alka di Yisrael de Rachmana litzlan. And of him it was said in the sacred Zohar that he brings disgrace into the supernal order and shows that he is separate from holiness. And he has no share in the God of Israel, heaven forbid. Al kain shlichu tehu, the Razal ka avidna. Therefore, declares the Alter Rebbe, I am hereby acting as an agent of our sages of blessed memory. Le azor gezera shav lechol nefesh shelo shevach sicha betela masha chil mishet chil ha shaliach tzibor lihitpalo ha tvila ad gamar Kaddish B'Torah, Shacharit Mincha Arvit. To enact a decree, to apply equally to everyone, no idle talk is to be spoken from the moment the reader begins to recite the prayers until the end of the last Kaddish of Shacharit Mincha and Mariv. V'ha'over al zeh bezadon yashiv al haaretz v'yevakish L'shloshla anashim shi yatiru lo nidoi shlo ma'ala. And he who disobeys intentionally shall sit on the ground and beg of 3 people to release him. From the supernal excommunication, there results from disobeying a rabbinic decree. V'shav v'rafa lo v'lo chal alav shum nidui lemafara kol ikar. He should repent, resolving to change his ways, and he will be healed, and retroactively no excommunication whatsoever will have applied to him. Ki mitchi lato lo chal ki im al ha mordim v'ha-poshim, she'enam chosheshim, klal levakesh kapara min hashamayim, min habriot, al ha-avon plili hazeh. For from the very outset, it is applied only to those who rebel and are willfully sinful, and who do not care at all to seek atonement as they ought from heaven and from man for this grievous sin. V'gam doka shemidabrim bizadon bishat nefesh. Also, this excommunication applies only when people speak deliberately and brazenly. V'lo ha shochach o sheniz raku mipiv kama tibot below mitkaven she'eno tzarich hatara klal. But not to a person who forgets or unwittingly uttered a few words, for he does not require release from the excommunication at all. Ubochen lavot uchlayot Elokim tzadik, and God who is righteous examines the heart and the kidneys. He probes a man's inner integrity and is able to discern a deliberate offense from an unwitting use. Heitiva Hashem litovim v'liyasharim b'libotam. The Alter Rebbe concludes with a prayer. Be benevolent, O God, unto the good, i.e. to those who refrain utterly from idle speech, and unto those who are upright in their hearts, i.e. also to those whose hearts meant well, but from whose lips a few words inadvertently escaped. This is the end of my video, Tanya, day 10. Goodbye, have a great day.